What if I told you that your mindset is actually automated? That you have the same thoughts, the same doubts, the same worries, the same feelings. You play the same stories in your head almost every single day. And that's the thing that's either keeping you stuck in life or allowing you to grow in life. Now, if you're here watching this train today, I assume that you're stuck and you want to develop the right mindset to actually change your life. And that's exactly what I'm going to share with you today. Because just because your mindset is automated, it doesn't mean that you can't change it. So let's dive into the whiteboard. I'm going to show you exactly how to build a mindset that makes success inevitable. Now, before we dive in, just so you know who you're listening to today, my name is Caden. From the age of 19 to 25, I built my first successful business, making my first $1 million online, and I've helped over 500 clients transform their bodies and their health for life. Now, what I do is I help six-figure entrepreneurs rewire their identity so they can break the plateaus in their business to make more money. And today, we're diving into this training on how to build a mindset that makes success automated. Now, if you like this training, make sure that you like and subscribe for more. I drop trainings every single Monday and Thursday. So, the first thing that we're going to break down here is the science behind building a successful mindset. So, I'm going to break down, first of all, how the mechanism actually works. Because the coolest thing about the mind is that we basically run like a software. Like, you know how when it comes to a computer, you can plug in a software, or even if you look at AI, like you can make it plugged in to where it does things automatically for you. Software does the same thing, right? If you plug in a software, it follows the system over and over and over again. It's exactly how your mind and how you as a person function in reality. And I'm going to share with you exactly how that works. So it all starts with, because we're going to reverse engineer it, right? We're going to reverse engineer how you get the results in your life. Because when we talk about success, it's because you want new results. So how do we get new results? Well, let's start right from the beginning. It all starts down with your core belief systems. Think of your core belief systems as the literal instructions that your brain must follow in reality. So your brain's not trying to help you become successful. It's not trying to help you become happy. Your brain, what it wants is it wants predictability. It wants safety and security. It wants to make sure that it follows the system over and over and over again. So whatever you believe to be true, your brain will take that as instructions and follow that in reality. Now, it will go as far as literally filter out information in your reality so you will not see or absorb certain information. And it hyper focuses on other information that influences you to act on it, to focus on it, to just basically reconfirm those beliefs over and over and over again. By the end of the training, you should have a much better understanding of how that works. So it starts with belief systems. Now, your belief systems then will say influence or send you the thoughts that you receive. Because remember, you are not your thoughts, right? We identify with our thoughts because that's our ego. Ego's protector of identity. It wants to always personalize things to reconfirm who you think you are. But really, what you are is the observer behind it all. You are the one who is behind the thought, who is then reacting to the thought and personalizing the thought and thinking you are the thoughts that you have. But that's not you at all. You're the one behind the thoughts. So you receive these thoughts from your belief systems. Also, the next thing that happens, because it's a very important part of the process, is emotions. So your beliefs basically will say, send you or influence the emotional state that you have, the emotions that you feel. How does this work? A couple of ways. Number one is that you can never experience an emotion without an event happening first, without an interpretation or a meaning assigned to an event happening first, I should say. So here's how this works is basically, let's say there's an event that happens. And mind you, the event can actually be a real world event, or it can be just simply a thought that you're having because your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. So it could be a thought that you're having and you literally experience that thought as an event, or it could be an actual real world event. Then what happens is that you give that event an interpretation, some sort of meaning. And how you interpret things and give things meaning comes down to your belief systems, what you believe to be true about yourself or the world. So someone who believes in great things about themselves, right? Or the world, let's say the world is abundant, the world, everything works out for me. People are really nice. You're going to see the world in that view, right? But if you believe that the world is evil and people are bad and everyone's out to get you and nothing works out for you, you're going to have meaning assigned to the events happening in the world that are connected to that belief system. And then after you have the interpretation, after you give it meaning, this all happens so fast that you don't even realize it. That's why if you're like me from the past, I used to think my emotions were random and I had a hard time understanding my emotions. But then after this happens, then you experience an emotion. And then how the brain works is that as you think, as you continuously think and also feel a certain way, you then start to form your identity. Your identity is who you believe you are. It is your sense of self. It is your structured self. Okay, and underneath identity, we have the ego, which is protector of identity. And you want to think of that as the glue to your book of life. It holds everything together. You need an identity, you need a sense of self, you need an ego, so that way you can actually function and work in reality. You can actually do things, you can actually operate properly. Okay, so that is how it works. Because again, thought, for how the thought and emotion works, is basically neurons that continuously fire together will eventually start to wire together. So as you continuously think of yourself in a certain way, okay, I'm good enough, I'm good enough, I'm good enough, and you actually feel it, then you're literally experiencing that in real time. And the more and more that you experience that in real time, eventually you're going to buy into it. Like, this is just who I am. I'm someone who's good enough. I am someone who's confident enough. I am someone who's successful, whatever it may be. It can also go the other way around, right? I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm dumb, whatever it may be. So now, moving now to number 2. Identity then influences actions, behaviors, decisions, and the things that you focus on. Think of it, I always use this example, but think of it like if you're a religious person. If you're a religious person, that's your identity, you will naturally behave like a religious person, right? You will follow the morals. You will go to church, maybe. You will read the Bible. You will pray. You will do the things that a religious person does because that's your identity. Now, if you took that identity away, if you took that belief system away, would you still operate that same way? No, you wouldn't. Why? Because it's no longer part of your identity. Pretty cool. So identity influences all of these actions, behaviors, decisions, which then do what? They produce results, right? Your results in life are not random. They are a creation, a manifestation of your past actions, decisions that you made or did not make, behaviors that you had, and your habits. All of those things, right? All some sort of movement, some sort of action, some sort of decision is what produced the results that you now have in your life. So the future results that you're going to get in your life, either if they're successful or not, are going to come down to the actions that you're taking today, the decisions that you're making today. And how that is caused, we'll say, or influenced for a majority of the part is your identity. And this is why a lot of entrepreneurs and people I work with and I've seen in groups over the years struggle to succeed, is because they hyper focus so much on their actions, but they don't have the identity that matches it. You see, this is why I don't really talk about, how to become more motivated to change your life, because motivation doesn't matter when your identity matches the result that you want. Because when, like, for example, for me, I'm a very fit guy, but when I first started 10 years ago, I couldn't stay consistent. It took me 2 years to stay consistent, and I needed somebody there to make me actually work out. Then I adopted the identity of somebody who's fit, strong, and healthy, who works out. Now I can't go more than 2 days without working out because I love it so much. I always just want to move my body. I'll go on a 5K run for fun, but it's because it's part of who I am and what I do. It's my identity structure. And again, it wasn't always like that. I had to build it. But that's the coolest thing, is that if you're stuck in an identity right now that you don't like, that you don't prefer, that is disempowering, that has low confidence, that is broke, that is struggling to grow your business, it's not forever. Don't get so caught up deeply into that, because it's not forever. And your ego might argue with me right now, but remember, your ego is just doing its job, which is protecting who you already believe you are. So I should say it doesn't have to be forever, because it will be if you don't change, obviously. So identity influences results. So going down to number 3 is, as a bonus of what you should know, is that your belief systems also influence your nervous system state. And this basically determines what you can, if you can accept change, if you can think in creative ways, if you are in fight or flight. Influences a lot of things in your life, but also influences your RAS, and that's your reticular activating system. That's the thing that literally filters reality. Okay, you filter out 99.999% of reality, and you hyper focus on reconfirming information that reconfirms or information that reconfirms your belief systems. Pretty crazy. Your brain's not looking for the truth. All right, so an example. If you believe that you are lazy right now and you are not going for your goals as well, then I would assume that you probably have belief systems, if you really reflect deep enough, that maybe you're not good enough, that you're not worthy enough, that you're not smart enough, that it's not possible for you, that things never work out for you, or maybe there's deep fears of change or success, which is then tied to a belief system around success or change. That's it. That's literally it. That's just a manifestation of your core belief systems. This goes back down to ancient principles and teachings such as hermetic teachings like, as within, so without. As within, so without. Super cool one. So before we move on, the key note is change the role, change the character that you're playing in life right now, and everything else will change too. What is the role of the character? It is your identity. Identity. And this is one of the famous sayings that I love is that circumstances don't matter, state of being matters. State as an identity, right? You can put yourself in the, here's an example. You take an athletic person or you take an Olympian, we'll say. Someone who's been an Olympian and that's their identity, and they've been that way for 20 years. Super fit, super strong, super healthy, insane shape, right? Top 0.1%. You take that person and you add 50 pounds onto them, 60, 70, 80 pounds onto them. You put them in an environment where there's just unhealthy food all around them and all this stuff. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to set a world record for how quick they can lose weight. Why? Because they have the identity of the fit, athletic person. They're naturally going to act that way, behave that way, and make decisions that are aligned with those results because that is who they are at a core. So you add 50 pounds of fat onto them, and they will lose that so freaking fast. And this is why, too, a lot of people who are in situations, not always, but there's a very high connection, is that if you are obese or if you're very overweight, I was a weight loss coach for 5 years. Literally, the way that I helped my clients actually succeed with weight loss was through identity changes. But if you look at it, it's probably because your mom or your dad or your parents also struggle with their weight, their body image, their health, whatever it may be. Okay, because habits, belief systems are kind of passed down. So for me, for example, I grew up in a family where it's like your worth comes from your work ethic and the work that you do in the world. And that money is everything, and that, you have to work very hard to make money, and money is very stressful. So I grew up with a lot of limiting beliefs around things like that. So now that we know kind of how the science actually works and how it works around mindset, and that you are not stuck the way you are. So if you are depressed, if you are low motivation, if you have low confidence, if you are absolutely in the bottoms of life right now, you're not stuck there forever. Let's not adopt that victim mentality. So 4 beliefs, or I should say identity upgrades to adopt today to build a successful mindset. Now, as I'm taking a sip of water, you're going to want to grab a pen and paper for this. So the first one, is self-worth. Self-worth. Now, this is actually crazy enough. The inspiration behind this training today came from yesterday. I was at the beach and I was coaching myself as I always do, speaking to my voice notes, reading through old journal logs, just trying to understand certain things and dissect certain things and just reflecting upon myself. And I came across a very deep rooted sense, you could say, or feeling of shame. Now, anybody who knows the map of consciousness, you know that shame is on the survival paradigm. It's one of the lowest states that we can be in, holds us down. And I was feeling this deep shame. I was like, wow, like I am literally a transformational coach. I'm extremely good at what I do. I literally help people change these stuff for a living to make more money. And I had this deep rooted shame. And what I realized after some proper dissecting and reflection is that the shame feeling was connected because this idea that I was not where I want to be at in my life compared to where I expected. I knew that I could be better and do better, and I was feeling so much shame that I wasn't there. But it really was connected because remember, shame is an emotion. An emotion is not random. It comes from a core belief system at the end of the day. And again, how I was looking at my situation, right? All influenced around my belief systems because some people look at me and be like, dude, you've done so much good things by now at this age, right? So again, neutral experience, but I gave it that meaning and it was causing me to feel that way. And it's because it was rooted to a belief of I am not worthy. My worth comes from my work and my outputs. Now, how this manifested is me being constantly stressed about figuring out problems and my brain always being on problem fixing mode and always being obsessed over my results and improvements and all these things, which can be good, but also very detrimental as well. Because again, if you don't feel worthy, I mean, I think a lot of people actually deal with this limiting belief and they try to fill this void and this hole through other things, but you realize that it doesn't actually ever get filled because you need to change within before you change without. Nothing outside of you will fill that hole. So the first one is self-worth. Limiting belief, I am not worthy or my worth comes from my work or my outputs. All right. Now, the new belief that we want to adopt here is I am worthy. Okay? Because imagine how this can block you. This actual core belief that you're not worthy or your worth comes from your work. If your belief is that your worth comes from your work, you're going to be a workaholic. You're going to neglect a lot of things. You're going to make work the number one priority in your life. You're going to do things that don't make you happy, but just to work and work and work and work. That's going to be the way you're programmed, and that's going to be the way you're going to be all the time. And you're going to chase and chase and chase the next thing, and it's never, ever, ever, ever going to be enough. And that void and that hole is only going to get deeper over and over and over again. And I think this is actually probably why a lot of like billionaires, for example, can be quite miserable, right? You're trying to fill a hole that you can't fill outside of you. That that materialistic view is just an old, outdated, animal-based programming. So this idea that I'm not worthy is very outdated. It's a very limiting belief because then if you genuinely believe that you're not worthy, you're not going to go for the things that you want. You're not going to go for the people. You're not going to do the things. You're not going to go for all these things because you're not a worthy person, right? Someone who's not worthy is not going to go put themselves out there and try to accomplish all this stuff, all these things. So the new belief is I am worthy. But how this works when it comes to a belief system is that basically we need to show ourselves that, hey, this belief system isn't rooted in truth. This belief system isn't rooted in truth. And once we can realize that the belief system is not rooted in truth, then we can actually start to change it. So now let's break down this worthiness idea. Okay, well, first and foremost, what is the definition of worth? The definition of worth is something is valuable, something is unique, something is special. It's one of one. All right. Well, if you look at yourself as a person, you're a human being having this experience on earth. You are one of one. You're unbelievably unique. The odds of you being here having this experience is 1 in a trillion. It's almost impossible. It shouldn't even be happening. So that alone just shows how actually worthy you genuinely are. So the next evidence behind this belief is that you exist. And that means that you exist, you are here functioning in reality, therefore you are supported. So that's the evidence right there. All we need to adopt this new belief. Now, another thing to understand too is like if you look at all other animals, because as humans we are, part of the animals. If you look at all other animals, does a dog need to go out in his world and do certain things to be worthy? Does a dog need to go do certain duties to be worthy? No, it's not like that for any animal. It's not like that at all. So why do we do it for ourselves? It doesn't make any sense. Again, it's just an outdated limiting belief system and it does not support us. So that's the first one. Adopt self-worth. And I promise you, when you adopt the self-worth, the self-appreciation, like almost guarantee your life is going to change. Because remember, even one change is a whole change. Number two. Number two is trust and confidence in yourself. Okay? So the limiting belief would be something such as like I don't trust myself, or I don't have confidence, or I'm not a confident person. Okay. Well, the new belief is I am confident or I trust myself, obviously. But here's the thing about confidence and trust that you should know. This is the interesting thing. Is that it's not that you're not a confident person, right? You can be confident in that statement or that idea that you're not confident. So you have confidence in that belief. You have confidence in that. Same thing with trust. You never lack trust. You can trust that you don't have trust in something working out, but guess what? You're still trusting in something. You just have trust that it's not going to work out. So now this idea comes down to how, think of it like a bucket. You're just putting more confidence in one bucket than the other. So you can be confident in yourself, or you can be confident in something other than yourself. You can trust in things working out for you, or you can trust that things don't work out for you. Now remember though, where you put your focus and attention on and what you actually trust in and confidence in is all just coming based on your past experiences. So if you've always lied to yourself, you never stuck to your promises, obviously you're not going to trust in yourself because you don't feel like a reliable person. But remember, the only reason why you weren't reliable and didn't trust in yourself and do those things isn't because you're a bad person or not confident. It's simply because there's a belief system tied to it that is causing you to act that way and see things in that way that then produces those results. Remember, your results right now in life are probably just a reflection of your inner belief systems. So this is something that I really dealt with in high school and after hitting puberty as well, middle school, growing up, is this confidence. So I really hope this hits home for you. So that's the first idea, though, is that you never lack trust or confidence. You just decide to be confident in one thing more than the other. So shift your confidence focus, right? Shift your trust. Why trust that things are not going to work out? Trust in yourself. Why have confidence that you're not confident? Just be confident in yourself. It's the same bucket, it's the same energy. Just steer it and focus it towards the right thing that you actually want. Keep it that simple. You might be thinking it can't be that simple. Keep it that simple, okay? It can be that easy. The idea that things can't be this easy is just another belief system, by the way. Next, remember to change inside before you judge the outside. Okay. If you are like, well, look at my life right now. Like, I'm not a confident person. I don't have a girlfriend, or things aren't working out, or I can't do sales calls, or whatever it may be. Yeah, because you're still having the identity of that person. So that's what reality reflects. You need to change inside completely and focus on that. And as you do that, you will start to act differently. And over time, as you're patient with the process, your reality will start to reflect the new self, the new beliefs. And again, remembering that actions create results and identity influences actions, like I just said. Number three. Number three is everything works out for you. Okay. I have this belief, and some people think I'm absolutely delusional and crazy because the things I've done in my life to follow my inner calling, I say my purpose, my soul's path for me, have been unbelievably crazy, we could say. Have been, to many people, it doesn't make any sense at all. But it's because I had this core belief that I have to follow my inner calling, I have to follow my dream, and that I believe that if I do, every single thing is going to work out for me. Every single thing is going to work out for me in the best possible order. Now, you know what that does to have that belief? It changes everything. Because even the worst of things that you don't prefer to happen to you in life, or something doesn't go your way, it allows you to step outside of that and say, you know what, like, didn't go my way, but who's to say I know exactly what I need or what's going to happen? There's going to be something way better. This relationship didn't work out. Why? Because there's going to be something way better for me down the road. This business adventure didn't work out. This sale didn't close. All right, well, what is this teaching me? It's helping me get stronger, more resilient. It's helping me work harder. It's helping me think outside the box. It's helping me develop my skills more. It's all working out for me. All working out for me. And when you have that, that's going to be some unbelievable momentum is going to keep driving you forward. So let's really dive this home, though, because remember, it's got to make sense, right? So, Kate, how are you telling me that everything works out for me? You know, I have to deal with death in my life and all this stuff. Okay. Well, first of all, the limiting programming is nothing works out for me, or the world is happening to me, or life happens to me, or I blame my situations on why I can't do certain things on outside of me. It's easy to do that, right? If I blame my life situations on the government or people outside of me, then I don't need to change. And that's great for my ego. My ego is like, awesome, like I did my job. You're stuck. You're not changing. That's great. But if you actually want to change your life, you need to take ownership and responsibility for your life. And that includes everything, because you can't change anything that is outside of you, that you believe is outside of you. That's simply just the victim mindset. Okay. And you dig a hole deeper. So that is a decision right there to make. The next thing is the new belief is, again, like I just mentioned, everything works out for you. So the evidence behind this is as so. The evidence is this: reality itself, everything happening, is all neutral. Everything is simply just happening. You, the experiencer, the person, the human, are giving the things that are happening meaning. Okay, the meaning, so life you could say is meaningless. Don't take that in the wrong way. This is actually a very powerful positive thing. But life, all the things happening is meaningless. You give the experiences meaning as your personal power. It's created by you. So disempowering belief systems create disempowering meanings, which create disempowering situations and events. Okay, an example, something happens in your life. It's a neutral situation. You go into it and you give it some sort of meaning, like, this is why it happened to me, or this is so bad, or why is the world so evil to me, and why bad things happen. And then you create your own personal experience off that. And guess what? It's going to be negative. It's not going to be any good if it's disempowering. Okay? You're going to experience and react off that meaning, and that's going to produce the result, the experience, and how you react to things or take action moving forwards. And remember, you're always going to find evidence for what you believe in. So let's say you go through the same thing, but you have a positive, powerful belief system. You give it that meaning as Crappy as the situation is, you still look at it in that lens. You just choose to, you decide to, right? And then you react off that. You have a personal experience off that. And whatever is going to manifest from that determine or is going to come from whatever you already believe to be true in the first place, right? So adopting this belief system will help you get through so much suffering and struggles in your life. Okay, so many things in your life will change by simply adopting this number three. Okay, number four, we'll drive it home. Abundance. Okay, abundance. Now, first of all, I want to discuss the true meaning behind abundance. When I say abundance, everyone always thinks of money. Okay, money, 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 money. But here's the thing, the real meaning behind abundance is that you have exactly every single thing you need right here, right now, in every single moment. That's abundance, is when you have more than enough of exactly what you need in every single moment. And guess what? You do. You are here right now watching this training. You have more than enough of what you need to be right here, right now. Because remember, the future, the past doesn't exist. It is only right here, right now. Everything's happening right here, right now. And you are supported right here, right now. So if we can get you to adopt, if I can get you to adopt a belief that in every single moment, in the next moment, the next moment, the next moment, the next moment, then the next right here, right now moment, you're going to have every single thing you need. And that means that if the things that you desire are not here in this moment, then it's just not meant to be here in this moment. But doesn't mean it's not going to happen or never going to be here in this moment. So that's the true meaning behind abundance, okay? And abundance comes in many, many forms. Thoughts, it comes in ideas, it comes in people, it comes in support systems, it comes in money, it comes in so many forms. If you limit your abundance to money only, you're going to limit yourself to doing so many things that you want. Example, you want to go travel, you want to go to this place, you want to go do this thing, but you only think in terms of, I don't have enough money to do it, well, then you're going to be capped every time. You're going to be stopped in your tracks every time. There's probably so many other pathways to get the things that you want in your life, but you're not truly tapping into your abundance. And when you close yourself off to that abundance, so such as holding on to old beliefs that there's not enough, there's never enough, money is scarce, I don't have enough money, I never have enough, money is hard to make, it's I'm alone or I'm never supported. Those are very scarce belief systems that have no abundance within them. And when we believe that, we experience that. Right? So when you believe that money is the only form of abundance, but you don't have the money to do the thing that you want, you stop yourself right there. It doesn't go any farther. It does not go any farther. But if you expand that belief system, you embody it, you now can see from multiple angles. And you get a lot closer than you are before. So new beliefs, I'm abundant. All right, guys. So what's going to happen next? As you adopt these belief systems, you're going to have new beliefs. Therefore, you're going to eventually have new thoughts and a new perspective. That's going to cause you to have a new feeling, a new emotional state. Over time, that's going to cause you to have new actions and new focuses. And that's going to produce new results that are aligned with the new beliefs because your brain is trying to reconfirm what you believe to be true. And eventually, what that's going to do is actually change your life because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a new result. So you're coming from a new place, you're getting new results, and it's going to help you build a new identity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the training for today. Now, last thing, if you are a six-figure entrepreneur or close to hitting six figures in your business, at least having an established strategy, but you're stuck at a plateau, a revenue ceiling, you cannot seem to break through, you're self-sabotaging, that's the exact work that I do with my private one-to-one coaching. You can apply down below. And if you like this training, make sure that you like and subscribe for more, guys. Again, every single Monday and Thursday. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you guys on the next training.